The world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is available right at your fingertips in Iowa. The Circa Sports Iowa app is sports betting, the way it should be. Bet anywhere in Iowa and experience high betting limits, tight money line splits, and exceptional customer service. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com and start betting like a pro from anywhere in Iowa. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
In order to feel comfortable that you're getting a fair price, you need pricing context, information that empowers you to feel confident. With TrueCar, you'll see what other people in your local market paid for the car you want. From there, you can connect with a local TrueCar certified dealer and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Using TrueCar, you can easily find the car you want. TrueCar will show you what other people in your area paid for the car you want. Now you know what a fair price is, so you can feel confident. Once you register, you'll see real pricing on actual inventory. This is competitive pricing offered to you only by a TrueCar certified dealer for an actual vehicle on their lot. It's pricing you'll see before going to a dealership, so you can feel confident when you show up. With TrueCar, you can connect with a local certified dealer of your choosing, so you can enjoy a quick, easy buying experience. TrueCar customers are more likely to enjoy a faster buying process when they connect with TrueCar certified dealers. TrueCar users save an average of $3,000 off MSRP. Wow, that is a lot of dough. And when you're ready to buy, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features are not available in all states, and I'm not going to tell you which features or which states.
Now, Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston, and recorded live from the porch of the famous Malibu kitchen. Now, here's Spike.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Spike's Car Radio. Thank you, professional announcer guy. He sounds so much more professional than I do. I think I'm jealous of that guy, actually.
You should be.
I definitely should be. Well, Zuckerman, here we are. We're on the fourth podcast here. I thought we might update everybody on a couple things. First of all, your Speedster crash. Where are we? It's been 3 shows since since Jerry announced to the world that you crashed your 58 Speedster.
The repairs of the car are going to go slower than a glacier receding, and I am getting some physical therapy.
You are?
I heard.
What do you mean?
I'm kind of old, and I
really
went yesterday evening. I went to my favorite masseuse and acupuncturist. His name is Ham, and he's blind. And I love going there because his eyes are just white, and when you walk in, he says, "Nice to see you." And I don't know why that tickles me. I must be sick. But,
and what is he going to do for you?
Well, he is a back cracker. He gets in there, he adjusts you, he fixes you up, he tortures you.
Is there going to be any sort of lawsuit, any sort of litigation?
I don't have time for that crap. That's what I do for other people. I do that for my customers.
All right. Well, there you go. Where's the car? Is it down with Will Hoyt right now?
It is at Will Hoyt, who is the
And how long is this going to take to fix?
A year.
A year? Is that what he said?
He said a
year.
year.
So that's a year and a half, right?
At least.
And what is he doing to the car? Did he say?
Well, we got to do some front end work. It really wasn't damaged terribly. If this was just a regular car, you'd be looking at under $10,000, and it would be out in 2 weeks. But given what it is, you don't want to do Bondo. You want to do metal work. You want to do real metal work. You want to preserve all of the original metal, and you're going to have to. The paint being 17 years old, they can't match it. The whole car has to be stripped and repainted.
Well, that's what they did with mine. I mean, my old Speedster's been painted like 3 or 4 times. Once you just do any fender, you just got to do the whole thing.
You got to do.
You know who's on the show today?
Who?
Russell Peters, very famous comedian. He's one of the top 5 grossing comedians in the world, in the universe. Actually, he makes a ton of money. He's going to be here with us in a minute. Before we get to him,
that's intimidating.
Though, it is intimidating. But he's also a car guy. He likes cars. He likes watches. He likes comedies. Perfect for the porch here. But he'll be here in 1 second. I wanted to talk quickly, though. The other thing that came up were these 964s. Do you remember you were talking about sunroof delete 964s?
I remember clearly. I am pioneering this trend.
And I just want to tell everybody what happened right after, I think the day after we posted that podcast. The 96, somebody called me out of the blue, messaged me and said, I am importing 5 sunroof delete 964s.
And what did I say?
Well, what he said was, do you know anybody who'd want them? And I said, yeah, you're talking to the right guy. So I sent it to Zuckerman. And go ahead, tell everybody what you said.
I said we're buying them all. every
Didn't
one of them.
know. That's right.
Every one. I
Every
want
run.
to write a first refusal
So
on
this
every one.
this guy who shall remain nameless,
Don't
but
say anything.
He works for an auction house that we know. Knows of two other guys who roam Japan, searching for beautiful cars. These cars, by the way, Zuckerman, I didn't tell you, they're going to be here next week. We're going to look at them. 5 sunroof deletes: the silver, a black, a white, a red, an oak green metallic or forest green metallic. Forest green metallic. And the black was like a metallic gray of some kind that I don't know what it was. But
may have been called Meteor.
But I want the silver one.
Well, the silver one is the best one. It has the plaid interior.
Yeah.
Now, since you drove my sunroof delete,
I just did.
Japanese
I just drove it out here.
964, does it feel like a US 964?
Well, the thing that struck me about it is when I got in, it smelled like my old 993 C2S. It smelled like a car from a later date, but it wasn't as bubbly and as Volkswagen Beetle-y.
I think they're really. I think the 964 is so much better than the 993.
Right.
It really is.
Well, these Singer guys, they've been all over this stuff for a while. How come we're late to this game?
Well, you had a couple of dollars in your pocket way before me. You were in the market, I think, when the 964 was out, and
I was in New York. In 1991, which these cars are 91s, right?
Right.
I was in New York driving a 1974 Porsche 911, and it was CP brown with brown interior. This is my first. I was just getting into 911s. David Letterman had just turned me on to them. So I didn't even know what a 964 was. I'm just saying. Anyway, look, the 964, incredible. You're right. We're making the right move getting all 5 of these cars, of which there'll now be 6. I just want to know, are you going to buy? Are you buying these for yourself? What's your plan here?
I'm a pig. I'm buying them for myself and to keep them from everyone else. I don't want them to get out in the world. I want to have them for myself and then have the choice of keeping whichever one or two best ones exist out there, because I really do think these are such special cars.
Right.
You realize this is the car that almost bankrupted Porsche.
Right.
They were so well made. They were so over-engineered. They were so everything about them was terrific. And as you said on the drive, you realize it's so much better than a 993.
It's incredible. And it's funny. I used to love the 993, but I get in them now, and they're a little, Volkswagen Beetle-y. They're a little bubbly. They're a little round. And this is a true
solid.
And they don't feel solid. And these 964s are a true 911 feel and shape when you're in it. I loved it. It was such a nice drive.
And I have that red 964 that you find the color
I hate that car.
deplorable.
Yes.
It's a 93, and it's a U.S. car. It's heavier, and it has less power. And it's in the Japanese car, the cars are so much more powerful. They're remarkably different.
Yeah. Anyway, look who is here on the porch. This is very exciting. Let's bring over Russell Peters. Applaud. Go ahead and applaud, Dean. You can applaud.
Thanks,
Russell.
My favorite comedian.
Is that true?
No, he's never seen my act ever.
Well, a lot of people say that about you, but you're one of the highest grossing comedians in the world, but yet maybe not a household name here in the United States. Is that accurate, do you think?
Fairly accurate, yeah.
But you're playing stadiums around the world.
In America, too.
In America, too. Wow.
Did Madison Square Garden, did Barclays Center, did...
Wow.
Now, how does that happen? How do you explain
How
this?
does that happen?
Well, because I'm not at the elite. I'm not with the elite people. You guys, to me, are elite people. So, like,
Wait, if
I went to Paul's office, right?
Right.
The guy at your parking lot will know me. The
Right.
valet guys will know
The
me.
valet guy will know.
But I'll go into you and you'll say,
He's
what do you...
Armenian, but you've got some pull in Armenia right now, do you?
I do. My wife is Armenian, so yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's scary.
Yeah.
This is your current wife?
Yeah. Well, fiance.
Your
I say wife
fiancé.
is just easier than signing the paper.
Yeah, I didn't think you were married.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you ask him whatever you want. Go
I'm
ahead,
an open
Zuckerman,
book,
you're
buddy.
here.
Okay, so now you were married once before.
Correct.
To a Mexican-American.
Ecuadorian and Honduran.
Okay, so eventually you're going to have to tell me, does the choice of cars change when you go from Ecuador to Armenia?
Well, no. See, they never had any control of that because I'm the moneymaker. So they kind of got whatever I gave them.
Right.
Well, they always do well. It's not like I'm going to go buy a Ford Focus. I'm like, honey, a new car.
But what are you implying, that there are ethnic kind of generalizations
going
about
with.
what kind of people buy what kind of cars, Zuckerman?
If my ex-wife was Mexican, then I would have given her my '64 Impala.
Right, you're a lowrider, and now you're supposed to give your current wife the C300 Mercedes that slammed to the ground.
I did give her a C300. Funny
I
enough.
know it.
Did you really?
At first, and then I got her a
Escalade.
Cayenne GTS, and I gave the C300 to her younger brother,
Oh, my gosh. Well, there you
Rafi.
go. Are you satisfied, Zuckerman?
John.
We
We call him Chuchi Face.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
are you satisfied
Okay, yes,
with this
it's
inappropriate
satisfied.
line of questioning?
Well,
I find the whole thing creepy. You're creeping
I
me
like
out.
it. I
you
say
like
we
it?
go down this road.
Well,
Yeah,
I
we
think
like
people
ethnic-
want to know what you're buying first and foremost. And I've watched you buy cars. You're mostly a new car guy, right?
Mostly for yes.
You're
yes,
mostly
I am.
new, and you're making a ton of dough, and you like to buy. You like Aston Martins, right?
I've never had an Aston Martin.
Range Rovers. Oh,
Range
Jaguars. You're a Jaguar.
I love the Jags. Got
You're
rid
a-
of them, but I love them.
You're a Range Rover guy.
Like that,
What
got
are you
rid of
driving? What are you driving today?
Today I came with Dean Marone, and he brought me in the is it 2018? 2017.
Dean. What's your title at Auto Gallery? You're the VIP director. Basically, he's the Porsche pusher man, and
Yeah,
he's
why don't you
always
get
close
that crumb
to
out
us.
of the corner of your mouth, Dean. You look like a jerk.
He really is a pusher, man.
He's a drug dealer, right?
And a human hunter.
He's a human hunter, and he's got a very kind of casual come on in a little email. Like yesterday, did you get that email from him that said, "Hey, look what just got delivered here.
Yeah, he
Still got
he
paper
preys
the
on your
seats."
weaknesses.
Right.
Yeah, Russell, does he call you up, and when he's about to go in for the big kill, does his voice get lower? Listen,
Yeah,
Russ,
always. He does this. He was like, listen, we just got this in. I'm telling you first. I bet you if I text Spike right after, he goes, hey, he just told me the same thing.
Right, right. He that part of your brain that wants to buy a hot TV set or stolen something.
Yeah.
He's appealing to that part
Yeah,
of
he
your brain.
tricks you into thinking you're getting a deal when really there's nothing coming off that price. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're taking it, right? Yeah, he's not even spitting on it.
And so,
He's
how
just
many
putting it
cars
in.
are you buying from Dean a year? Would you say
What do you think, about 4?
Nice.
About-
4 a
yeah.
year?
Nice.
Wow. And so what are you collecting things, or are you
No.
just running through cars,
I run
buying?
through
and-
them. I see something newer and shinier with more technology, and I'm like, I need that instead now.
So how long do you last with the car?
I try to last at least 3 years, but it's never happened.
It's like sex.
But if you're buying,
literally 6 months later, I'm calling him like, hey, man, I just saw something on the road, and can you get me out of what you just put me in? You're going to take a beating. I'm like,
Oh boy, he does that. He
Yeah.
says that to me, and he says it with such an apologetic kind of a tone, and you can see him shaking his head sadly.
You know,
Oh.
one time he made me buy this A8W12L.
sure,
I'm so
I
sorry.
never drove it.
big news
I
when
just
it
saw it in
first
the
came
dealership,
out.
and I was like, "Ooh, that's nice." And then he goes, "I can get you a great, can get you a great deal. They're going to take this off the sticker and that off the sticker." And I forget. I was on tour somewhere, probably in the Middle East or something. And I go, "Okay, let's do it. Let's do it." And we did it, and my buddy picked it up for me. Picked me up from the airport. I got in. I go, "I hate it." I called him. I go, "Dean, I hate this car. It's not what I thought it was." He goes, "Yeah, there's nothing we can do." I'm like, dude. He goes,
Oh,
"Just
Dean.
drive it for at least a week." And I go, "Okay, I'm going to take it to Vegas, and I'm going to come back." So I drove to Vegas, and I was like, "Nope." And then I said, "Maybe it's a car that you need to sit in the back for." So I sat in the back, and I let my wife drive, and I'm like, nope. Instead of reclining like the back of the seat, what happens is the bottom part of the seat lifts up.
Stay
Oh,
close to that mic.
It's
Yeah, so
it squeezes you.
Yeah, it lifts your legs, but you don't recline. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's no wind.
So did you get rid of the car?
I had to pay him $30,000 to take it back. After
$30,000?
A week.
I have a story like this, but it ends a lot better. He brought me over an SUV that I didn't care for. He drove back to Woodland Hills, and his phone rang, and I said, you got to get this out of my driveway. I'd signed all the paperwork. I had done everything else, and he said, I'll unwind the deal for you. That's why I love Dean. He unwound the deal.
Son of a bitch.
We
And he
should
sent
take him
me-
out back, beat the fuck out of him.
I'm not opposed to this.
Except that he also gets you the special cars.
He treats me very well. I've paid an extremely large amount of money to be treated so well by my good friend Dean Maroney. I don't mind buying my friends.
No,
Yeah.
there you
Well,
go.
no, that's what we've done here.
And he's getting a GT2 RS for you, and you and I are going to share that car.
Yes.
Do you ever share cars, Russell?
Russell?
With
Russell.
anybody? Have you ever shared?
Like, I mean, a shared purchase?
Yes, shared purchase. Would
My
you ever
friends
do
are
anything
broke,
like that?
dude.
They are?
Did you see my friend who drove my Porsche down? He's a black guy from Brooklyn. He's not. he works with the horses. What's he going to buy?
All right,
He's got a 1987 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Let me hear more about what you're doing. Are you collecting cars? So these cars, they sound like they're just daily drivers of some kind, right?
Yeah, it's really they're like shoes to me. It depends on what I'm wearing. It depends on what the weather's like. Depends on where I'm going.
Right. And do you enjoy driving?
I do. I love driving. I'll drive forever. You know, people are like, hey, it's really far. I'm like, that sounds great to me.
So a guy like this, Zuckerman, is just perfect for a vintage car, right? See how he's in all the new stuff, and he's getting bored with it, like we all do, by the way. I'm the same way. Right. I'm 2 years, and then I'm out. A vintage car, though.
He identified something that we can relate to, which is that depending upon his mood and the day, he wants to be in something different, which
absolutely.
is something that we all share. That
right. And do you ever look at old cars and think,
Oh, all the time. I see, you know, what I would like to get is that Lincoln with the suicide doors. Was it 63 or 64?
Lincoln Continental,
Yeah.
right.
Why don't we rent you one for the day and you'll be off of it? You're the same way.
That's probably right. That's
Right.
probably the way to do it, but I never think of that.
You know what, Tucker? You know what's so interesting? Wouldn't you put that in the top 5 cars that everybody at the beginning of their collector car life?
Well,
let's name those cars.
Well, you saw me.
I saw you in those cars.
GTO, a Chevelle,
GTO,
a Corvette,
early
a
Corvette,
Jag.
early Jag, and the Lincoln Continental,
Right.
and the Mustang. Those are the cars everybody goes to first. But let us. You're currently driving a Turbo S cab, right? A brand new one.
That's right.
That's right.
I got that. I got a
And you love that.
love it. I got a 2016 Panamera Turbo S too.
All right, that's not vintage.
No, but
that's
I love
a 7-year-old car.
I just got rid of my 64 Impala.
Right.
Because
But
I
why
never
do you
drove
keep
it.
going to old American cars? So why,
You
if you're
won't
buying,
drive them.
if you're driving new European cars, why not try a vintage European car?
I would like to get into a nice old Mercedes.
Can you
there
drive
you
a
go.
stick?
Yeah, absolutely. I missed that, actually.
Let's give him a car to drive for a week.
What do you got, Zuckerman?
Let's
What do
give
you
him-
want to give him?
Okay, why don't we give him? I don't have a. Well, I could give him.
I'm thinking about the Mercedes you have
Well,
that
I'm
are
thinking-
old.
I'm thinking
Some of them
about-
are
okay.
very, very expensive and rare.
Yes, so we're not that close.
Yeah,
so
no.
I think. I'm
But I wouldn't
thinking
put him in
that-
a 280 SL. It's too pokey and
No,
weird.
I would put
It's
him in. I would put him in my '67S or my '66 911, just so he could get a feel for.
Oh, I
an
think
early
I thought you were
911.
talking about old Mercedes. 'cause
Well,
he
if we
said he
went
liked
on
old
Mercedes, I would have to then step up to the plate, having made the offer, and say, take the 300 SL Roadster,
Wow.
go all the way to
Do
the
you know what
top.
he's saying? What
I
kind
know
of car
that
he's
car. Is
saying?
that the one with the gull wings? No.
No, that's
This
the
is-
convertible version.
He's got the most beautiful one. Dark blue with a red interior. That's the most gorgeous car.
Yeah.
But you should drive that car. I
would
think
just
it'll
like
be.
to drive it around the block.
We'll do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I wouldn't
Let's-
want the pressure of having it for more than an hour. You know what I mean?
Right, right. It's-
No, I think he,
It's, when it comes to irreplaceable things, I'm like, ooh, I don't trust the other drivers. It's
Zuckerman.
not me.
is that car replaceable?
Yes.
All of this stuff is replaceable.
Yes.
You dent it, you fix it. They never used to be worth that much money. You know,
Yeah.
it's a car. You can fix it. And that car, if I'm not mistaken, you've gone through everything, right? It's a restored
Everything.
car.
And,
It's
and
the-
as you'll remember, it was silver over red at
Oh, that's
first,
right.
and most of those, 40% of that production, so almost 800 cars or so, those were silver cars. So now
Right.
it's missing a silver car, so I changed it to a period correct color of midnight blue with a red interior.
and it's stunning. Wow.
I'm trying to picture it. Do you have a picture of it?
I'm going to show you. A
Yeah,
picture
we're going
of
to
it.
pull up a
Fantastic.
picture here. This car, I think I've driven. I think you let me drive that car around Hollywood when it was silver and red. And I remember feeling the same way. But boy, you get a lot of attention in it. I don't know if you want that.
I like the attention. I just bought a.
Look at this car right here.
Wow.
For those of you at home,
God
you're
damn,
going to
that
have
is
to
pretty.
Google Zuckerman's 300 SL.
It is a Crip and a Blood all at once.
All at
Look at
once.
that
it's
car.
It's
Oh.
going to kill everything.
It
Wow.
is. It's a life-changing car. When you get in that, you got to find a special hat, like a Timberlake hat of some kind, and you will be the man, right?
And you will be transported
That
to
is
a
a hell of a
whole
paint job on it, too.
different experience in your life.
Yeah.
I swear I've driven that car and people have looked at me and clapped. And unlike you, Russell, I'm not used to people clapping at me. I'm used to people giving me the finger, calling me an asshole.
Right, yeah.
But people clapping at me, and you get used to that. You think you're damn right.
Have you ever road raged in that car? Have you?
No, you don't. It doesn't make you run.
No, you haven't. I'm specifically asking you. Have you ever road raged?
Never
in it?
in certain cars are more rageful
I've
than
seen,
other
I've
cars.
seen you in a Carrera GT do things that you shouldn't be doing.
I was on steroids. I was on prednisone. I was prednisone man, and I wanted to kill everybody.
All right, well, there
That's
you go.
another
That's
story.
a car. This is a good car for you. It's a pretty big jump in, but these cars are blue chip investments, right? I can't think of anything more
What is
collectible.
the price
than,
tag on a car like that?
It depends.
Well, here we go.
There's a variety, but if you were just to take,
Say yours.
it's over $1. It's going to cost you over $1 million. So
Well, your buck and my buck were just two different bucks. I was thinking 100,000 when he said $1.
Well, he acts like a guy. He's not making. I've read. Maybe it's not true. You're making like $20 million a year.
Yeah, when
doing
I'm touring,
stand-up.
yeah. I'm off this year, so this is not a good
That's
year.
incredible. Well, by the way, congratulations. Did you ever
Thanks.
think you were going to get to that point
No,
where you're going to
it-
make that much money?
It was never even in my realm of thinking.
When did you start doing stand-up? And it was in Canada.
1989.
In 1999.
In 89.
In 89.
28 years ago.
And how old were you?
19.
19. And what do? You go up to the
Just
stand-up?
go up, you start doing it.
And you signed up for an open mic?
Sign up for the amateur night program.
And so what does that look like? What time of day is that you're going up?
You would call in. You'd have to call in at like 10 in the morning
Right.
to Yuck Yucks.
And did you memorize your act? Did you go up with a piece of
My
paper, or-
first time was terrible. I think I did 3 minutes.
And what was it about? Do you remember?
It was about nothing. It was horrible.
So
And
why?
I'm surprised that I even had the balls to go back for the second time.
Right. And did you do it consistently after that?
I did. I started just going and going. I got a giggle, and I felt like, whew, I want that again.
Is there anybody in your family that does comedy, or is
No.
it entertainment? None.
Not even one.
Not even one.
are they even funny?
Yeah, they're funny people, but I mean, they're not, stage-worthy funny.
So
They're incidentally funny.
how did your parents react to this? What did your parents do?
Nothing. They didn't care.
What do they do for a living?
My mom worked in Kmart. My dad worked in a meat packing
So
plant.
these are regular folks. They're
Blue
just
collar.
working, and you say at age 19, "I'm going to be a stand-up comic,"
And they go, okay.
and they were cool with it.
They didn't know what it was. I could have been like, Dad, I'm just going to go jump on the moon real quick. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
And so,
don't be late. That's it. Don't be late.
by the way, pretty cool to have a mom working at Kmart. I mean, that
the-
was pretty much every weekend. That was our
In the
treat for the week.
cafeteria.
In the cafeteria?
You know
Awesome.
the diner they had in Kmart? She
I
worked
do. No lie, though. That was our fun on the weekends. My mom
Oh,
said,
same.
if you're good, we're going to take you to Kmart. You didn't get to buy anything. It was just go to Kmart, and you would look for the blue light
Oh, that was
special.
the best, trying to find the specials.
The blue light special.
The
That's what
flashing
it was
blue
all
light
about.
special in the children's aisle or something.
So how long before you get any traction with comedy?
I would say about 6 years in, then I got my first special. So
Uh-huh.
95.
In special...
Like a Canadian special. It was a 30-minute special you would get on the CBC.
Uh-huh.
But at the time, the way they had it set up, it was you'd do. The show was 22 minutes, obviously, so you would do about 12 minutes of stand-up and 10 minutes of sketches, or more or less of
Really?
either.
So so sketches? So did they
Yeah,
have...
so I would do like these bumpers after my set. Like it would be like they'd cut to a sketch we show, and it was really, and it got nominated for a Gemini, which is a Canadian Emmy.
Uh-huh.
It didn't win, but it was. It really was the first time I realized, I might be doing something right here, because at the time they started getting fan mail for me all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Wow.
They said they'd never seen this happen before.
And who was responding?
Just kids across Canada.
And
At
they
the time,
loved
we
your-
loved them. And then there was people who were getting mad, like the Indian community. They were like, "We're going to boycott your station if you play him again." I'm like, "But I'm your people. What do you mean? I'm you."
So which do you identify more with, the Indian or a Canadian?
Well, when
do you
I'm
consider
in
yourself-
Canada, I have to identify with the Indians, and when I'm out of Canada, I identify with Canadians.
And do you ever get political in your act nowadays when you go up, when you see what's
a
going
little
on here?
bit, but nothing too detailed. Mine is more because you want to come to a comedy club. You don't want to be reminded of how shit everything is outside.
Right. You want to break.
Yeah, so I mock some of the more benign things or asinine things about Trump. I don't bother with his policies because I don't really care if you like him or if you hate him. Either way, I'm still Canadian. I can't vote. So
it's fascinating that he went right to that. You don't even have to say the word Trump, and people already know what you're talking about. Isn't that funny? But I think you're exactly right. When you go, that's why I'm watching TV. Right, I don't want to see any of that stuff. I want Game of Thrones. I want to be taken away.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Ray Donovan to come back on.
Ray Donovan. Yeah, they got some
that
cool
show.
cars on that show. Why do you like that show?
It's just this subtle gangsterness to it. I like it. He dresses good,
There we go back to the Lincoln.
Yeah,
right. We go back to Lincoln's. That's right. He's a fixer. In a lot of ways, Zuckerman, you're like Ray Donovan.
I'm Ray Donovan.
You're the real life
you.
Ray Donovan.
I solve your problems because I like you.
You do. You're a fixer. He's a hammer. You ever have an issue, he can fix something. You ever leave?
He does the legal one.
So, yeah,
I got the guys that do it the other way.
Well, I like that way better.
Yeah,
it's more satisfying.
So do I. Very.
Look at his eyes flare.
Yeah,
Zuckerman's
if you
eyes
need anybody,
flare.
let me know.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Russell Peters.
Hey guys, it's Richard Blaze.
And I'm Jasmine Blaze.
Join us every week for our show on Podcast One called Starving for Attention.
We're talking to anyone and everyone in the culinary industry.
We're going to hear some spontaneous back-of-house conversation about what it takes to make it in different parts of the food business, global trends, and where the industry overlaps with entertainment.
And play along with our games, trivia, and wacky moments.
Pull up a seat every Tuesday on PodcastOne.com, the new Podcast One app, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
I want to hear more about this comedy career, how it takes off. You make it sound like it was easy, like you did this special and then suddenly you're playing
nothing happened
stadiums.
after that. It definitely didn't go like that.
So what's the big break? What is the big moment?
95 is when I had my first TV exposure in Canada, nationally, and then it was received so well that 2 years later they offered me another special. But at that time, I'd only been doing 1997. I'd only been doing stand-up 8 years at that time, and my progress was a slow progress. I believe in taking the time. I used to box, so everything is. Sure, you want the title fight.
Hold on, there's a dog fight going on here in the porch. That's all right. Everything's fine. You're safe.
You want
You're
the title
safe.
fight, but you need those rounds before you get that title shot.
Right.
You look at Leon Spinks. He got a title shot 6 fights in. When he fought Muhammad Ali, won the title, but then never won anything ever again after that.
Right.
It's easy to get the easy way, but
so how many years are you paying dues and getting up every night and performing?
I didn't start to make some real traction till about 16 years in, 16 years in.
And so how did you support yourself? Or did you live with your parents the whole time?
No, I moved out when I was 30.
Quickly.
I moved out. I jumped at that offer. No, I moved out when I was 30. My brother and I bought our first house together.
You and your brother?
Yeah, he's also my manager now.
He is right now?
Yeah.
So
if you think I'm a loser, he moved out at 36, so I'm just saying.
How do you and your brother buy a house together? What does that look like? What is he doing to make money, your brother?
He had like an office job,
okay.
oil and gas business.
So you guys just are pooling your down payment, and you're both there?
Yep.
Did anybody think you were a gay couple?
No, we used to do that all the time. We would because we didn't have curtains when we first moved in. We used to make jokes that the neighbors would be looking in. They go, "So the big one likes the little one," because we're like really close, my brother and I. So we would hug each other and stuff.
That's amazing.
And then we had this like stuffed gorilla, like a stuffed animal gorilla. Mm-hmm. And every morning when he would go to work, he would set the gorilla up in we would just. It was our inside joke. We would just set the gorilla up doing things. So he would seat it at the breakfast table with a bowl of cereal and a spoon, put a hat on it and sunglasses, and so it would look like the gorilla was having breakfast. And then when I would come down and I would laugh, and I would reset it somewhere else in the house that he would see it when he came home from work. Like on the TV with his legs up, legs crossed, remote in its hand.
Isn't that sweet, Zuckerman?
It's cute.
Can you imagine buying anything with anybody in your family?
No, I'm jealous of these
I can't
experiences.
either. I can't. I mean, I love my brother, Wally, but I wouldn't share a pizza with him.
Wow.
He would eat.
His name is Wally.
His name is Wally.
You got Spike and he got Wally?
They're both nicknames.
Okay.
He has asthma. He wheezed, and I called him Wally the Weasel. And, and now he's Wally the Weasel because he wheezed.
Right.
But now that's his credit. He's the cue card guy on Saturday Night Live. He's a great
My brother
guy.
and
I
call
love him.
ourselves
But still.
Toots and Teets.
And so you're still tight with your brother now, and he manages your career. Yeah. And so what is he? He books all the gigs, and
he does all the strategic booking of the tours. And
right.
stuff.
So because he's
much smarter than I am.
He's smarter than you, and he's also someone you can trust. He's not a
Yeah.
stranger, right?
Yeah, he's not Dane Cook's brother. He's my brother. He's,
What did Dane Cook's brother
Stealing.
do?
he embezzled.
He did.
It was his brother-in-law or stepbrother or something.
There goes that theory, huh, Zuckerman? I thought
happens.
the family member wouldn't do that.
Come on, it was in the Bible.
Wasn't blood. It wasn't blood. It's got to be real if it was in the
Cain-
Bible.
Cain and Abel.
So
right?
where's the moment that you find out that you're going to play a stadium, that's possible, that many people are going to show up?
2007.
2007.
It was the first time I did an arena.
And how does this idea come to you, or how is it recommended?
I'm on tour, and my brother says, "Hey, there's a lot of inquiries coming in for when your next show is in Toronto."
Right.
And he was like, "We could do like the Queen Elizabeth Theater for like 4 nights if you want."
And is that about 5,000 seats or
I
something?
think it was like 3,500 seats.
3,500 seats. Okay.
And I was like, I don't know. That equals like 14,000. Why don't we just do the Air Canada Center one night? And he goes, I don't know if that's going to work. I go big or go home. Let's give it a whirl.
wow.
So we went on sale, and it's sold out right away.
So wait,
And we had to add a second show.
a lot of people don't know this though. You can just lease the center out yourself, right?
Yeah, that's what we did.
You can just you just call up and you go, hey, I wanna
what's your-
rent this for the
Yeah,
night.
what's the availability for this venue?
And does that come with hot dog vendors and
They
cotton
can make
kit?
all the concessions. They can have all the
They
concessions.
do all of that. So essentially, if you say I can sell all the tickets and fill it, you're going to make money on concessions, or do you have to pay every
You
single
still
popcorn?
have to pay, I believe, as well. I mean,
Wow.
I don't
So
really
that's-
get involved in the details. All I know is that my brother would be like, you're going to make this much on this night.
Do you
I'm
know-
like, that is an awesome deal?
What does it cost for a stadium? What does it cost to rent a stadium?
I
out
have
like
no
that?
clue to be
You
honest.
still don't
Probably
know.
$100,000 maybe.
$100,000.
He
Wow.
doesn't know. His brother's not stealing from him, though.
Zuckerman,
You
don't
get-
make any
it's $10
accusations
for
you
you,
cannot
Russell.
back up.
When he told me I was making $20 that night, I was pretty excited.
So then, do you guys sell
Plus
the
a meal.
tickets? Do you sell the tickets like Louis C.K.? Do you sell them directly to your fans, or do you go through Ticketron?
No, we. This is all before anybody was doing all that stuff. So,
Right, and it sells out very quickly.
Yeah, we just sold out, and then we added a second show, and I was like, "What?" And that
Boy.
sold out, and I was like, "This is incredible."
2 shows. Your mind must have been blown.
I got emotional when we did the first show. Like chin started quivering when the lights went down. You heard the audience scream, and you realize they're screaming for me.
Wow. What a big moment for you.
So
Were your parents in the audience?
My mom was there. My dad passed away already by then, but Lennox Lewis introduced me the first night.
Really?
Because Lennox and I were amateurs together. I've known Lennox for 30-something years. So I was like, Len, you want to introduce me? So he came out and introduced me. Then the next night, I didn't know what to do. I'd called Chappelle, and this is when he was in his little retreat mode. And I was like, Dave, would you come and introduce me? He's like, man, I don't know. And I'm like, come on, I'll fly you in, private, whatever. I don't care. What do you need? But he didn't do it. But it worked out better because my mom introduced me the second
Oh,
time.
my God.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
What a moment. What a moment. Hey, I don't want to throw a big sidebar into the table, big distraction, but Conor McGregor
Yeah.
and Mayweather. What do you think about that fight? They just announced that Conor McGregor is going to be fighting Mayweather.
It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle,
It's
but who
not-
wins this fight, in your opinion?
Mayweather, hands down. I mean,
So you think
here's how you have to look at it.
Okay.
If 49 guys that box professionally their entire life
Yes.
couldn't beat him, why would a guy that's never boxed a day in his life be able to beat him?
He's just got a big mouth.
Yeah, that's it. He knows how to. It's like the big talker, the guy that talks so much in the parking lot, then he gets knocked out.
When was his last fight, Mayweather? When was the last time he fought?
Almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So he's still
He
got
doesn't-
it.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do drugs.
And you're saying Conor does?
No, but Conor drinks, I think.
He does. If you
Connor's
follow
a
him on
drinker. He's
Instagram,
Irish, I mean,
yeah, and he looks like a guy that's going to bleed right away, right? So you don't think he has any shot?
No. I think Floyd's just going to toy with him, make him look ridiculous.
And how much money are these guys making?
What are they
The
splitting,
money,
like 300,
Zuckerman.
400 million or
I
something?
think that Connor's
What?
got 90 to 100 million. I think Floyd gets more money. There's a lot
Floyd's
of
getting
money.
like 200 or
There's
300
a lot of
million
money going around. We know Floyd likes to show his money off
He does,
too.
certainly.
I love those pictures. It makes me want to be him.
Yeah, it does and it doesn't. I don't. It makes you not root for him.
Really?
There's nothing.
When
there's
you see
nothing
what?
sympathetic when he just shows you stacks and stacks of money, or always like showing. Look at how much my watch is. This is a $2.5 million watch.
We're different. That excites me.
No, I like as a guy. I like looking at it, but as a guy, the way I
That
grew up,
does
I'm like,
excite
don't
you,
do that.
Zuckerman?
It's like porn.
You know, come to think of it, you've sent me pictures like that. Open briefcases full of cash when your
Yeah, but that's
clients
different
pay
when it's like
you and-
between your friends. But when you're just
No,
doing
it's not.
it, like, No,
I just
No,
like
it's
holding
not.
a stack like it's a telephone.
that's what they do now.
This is
That's what the kids do now.
it's his catchphrase. Domoni, you get excited. I agree with you. I'm not a big fan. I like Connor's feed. He's not doing that a lot. He's got his finger
He's
in a lot of
talking
different
shit,
pies.
though, but
I think that's what he
he's
does.
supposed to do.
I think
He
that's what he's
talked
supposed
his
to do.
way into
Yeah,
$100
absolutely.
million. You got to give the guy credit.
Absolutely.
Because what they say 2 years ago, he was sleeping on his friend's couch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, may have been.
Wow.
And with a picture of Muhammad Ali on his wall,
Right.
and he was on welfare, whatever the Irish version of welfare was. Now I'm
The
a big.
dole, I think it's called. The dole.
He's on the potato, is what they call it actually. The golden potato. I think he's going to be a little better than you all think. I think he's going to
There's
train. He's
sparring
going to
videos
take.
of him, and he's horrible.
He really?
Like, he's got professional fighters that were not even that good toying with him.
Now, what? By the way, what are you doing boxing? Why are you fighting?
Because I'm 47 years old now.
So how long have you been doing it?
Oh, boxing? I boxed from 85 to 94, and then I do
But-
jiu-jitsu.
But, why? Where does that come from? With someone in comedy suddenly going, "I want to box." Did you want to stay?
I was boxing before I did comedy.
I know, but why?
I needed to learn how to fight. I was a small kid with a big mouth.
So you were getting in fights.
No, I was just getting beat up.
You were getting beat up a
A
lot.
fight is where you fight back and you have a chance. I was just getting the shit kicked out of me.
Why would you get the shit kicked out of you?
Yeah, I was getting bullied a lot. It was the 80s, and I'm a little brown kid who's got a brash mouth, I guess.
So
Short
give me
on stature, long on mouth.
Yeah.
My problem.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't cuss anybody out, but if somebody said some, I would get a lot of racial bullying at that time. They would say something, I'd say some slick shit back because I was faster than they were with the mouth.
right,
But then I would just get,
and you'd get creamed.
they'd throw me in garbage cans, spit on me, kick me in the stomach with steel toe boots and shit.
Right.
Romantic.
Yeah. And then when I was 15, my dad was like, "Son, you're a pussy." And I was like, "Wow." And my dad used to box in India, so he was
Really?
like, "You should learn how to fight." And I go, I try. He goes, "You don't try. You just get beat up." And so he went, "Go with Willie to the gym." My friend Willie was Golden Gloves, so I went with Willie, started boxing, and I loved it.
No
And
kidding.
it turns out I was pretty good at it.
So do you ever get back on the street now, and does that kid come up to you, and do you have a moment where you knock him down?
I've had some bust-ups every now and then. They're never really too bad. I finish it quickly.
Right.
I'm not trying to get hit. I'm not trying to find out what you can do.
But I mean, as a kid, did you ever see those kids who were beating on you again and have that moment where you...
now because I'm successful. I won.
I see,
Do
right.
you know what I mean? They can, I'm like, okay, well, you bullied me when I was a kid, but
Right.
guess who won the race?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right for all of us.
Right.
Wouldn't you say,
Yeah.
Zuckerman? We all had these things happen to us.
It's what shaped us. It's what made it. It's motivated us.
the
Kept
chip
us
on-
focused.
Little
The
guys.
chip on the shoulder.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
chip on the shoulder that's still driving us.
Yeah. And I
That's
still
right.
do jiu-jitsu 3-4 times a week now.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm chasing a black belt right now. I'm trying.
You're
to get my black belt.
also a DJ, I understand.
That is correct. I've been
Are
DJing.
you? Can folks listening now hire you for their birthday parties, or
Bar mitzvahs.
are you?
Mitzvahs, both bar and bot.
Do you do the big Vegas thing like
No,
Paris
no, no,
Hilton?
no. I'm a real DJ.
What does that mean? Tell us
I
what
use.
that means.
I actually do it myself. I don't hit play and walk away.
So
But I used to talk about it in my act. But if your DJ's doing jumping jacks, he's not DJing.
Right.
If he's leading the crowd, he's not. The way he should be leading the crowd is with the music, not
Vinyl.
With,
Are you doing vinyl?
I do vinyl. Yeah, I've been doing it since.
but where
85 as
where
well,
do
so.
we see you DJ?
In my house on YouTube. I don't know. I go do parties. Every
Seriously,
now
it's not like if I want to play basketball because I like it.
Yeah.
You might see me down at the playground playing basketball.
Right.
Your little hobby is DJing.
I'll do like a club if it's like an old school night. Like,
I see.
Let's say you guys were having a party. Go, hey Russell, you can play music our age. Yes, I can play your party, and I can make sure you would have the best party
Really?
you ever had.
Wow.
But if they're like, hey, do you want to play this club? What's the age range? 20 to 35. No, thank you.
You're not interested.
I don't want to play any of that shit.
You don't want to go into deep
But-
house.
Deep house, yes.
Old
But-
school hip hop.
Old school hip hop, but none of that horrible EDM shit
Right.
or that terrible mumble rapping that they do now.
Mm-hmm.
Mumble rap.
Yeah, it's horrible.
All the kids love mumble rap. They're huge fans. Look at you notice he's a watch guy too, Zuckerman. Did you see that?
How did you know I was looking at that watch?
Because
I saw
there's
yours. I got
he's-
the white face version of that one.
You realize we talk all the time about how we cannot recognize how good our watches look unless they're on someone else.
They're
Do you
geek-
notice
they're-
that?
I did
They're
actually
geeking out
look
on
at that, and I
Rolex
was like,
Daytonas right now.
I have the white
both of them.
one of that, and I was looking at the black face. I go, that black face is really nice.
The black one is the winner.
Yeah, I
I
like
think.
my raccoon one.
What is the
I call it
raccoon one? What is
It's
the
got white
raccoon
face
one?
with the dark circles.
They call those the pandas, right?
Yeah,
The
pandas.
panda dials,
Yeah.
right. And you're wearing, what is that
I'm
one
wearing
there?
the platinum one.
The platinum one with that
platinum.
soft ice blue and brown.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful watch. Zuckerman and I both have the blacks
Yes,
there.
I remember when you got it. Actually,
You do?
Yeah, I was here that day. You got it like the day before.
Wow. Yeah, it was a good day. But we like Zuckerman was saying, we enjoy watches on other people now more than wear them
Yeah,
ourselves. Like,
I was shocked to see with a Breitling. I was like, "What's going on?"
well, this
with
isn't a
Spike?
Breitling. This is the new Hoyer Autavia.
Oh, nice.
02. This is the reissue.
It does look
the
Breitling-esque though.
Autavia Cup. And I just bought another one on the way here. I was lucky enough to get one of these Hodinkee. You know Hodinkee's
No.
website? Hodinkee's is pretty much the #1 watch website for information and new stuff coming through. It's run by this friend of mine, Ben Clymer.
Right.
Anything you want to know about watches, these guys are great. Hodinkee.com. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Hodinkee?
I've never heard it
Hodinkee?
pronounced other than by you. So,
Ben is also a Porsche guy, and I was...
He just bought
they
his
released
sports car.
Well, he bought a beautiful 66 911.
65.
65. Hodinkee just put out a special edition Tag Heuer reissue from their heritage department of
Is he
the
one of those
Skipper.
guys that takes them and rebuilds them?
No, he
Like
doesn't.
customizes them?
Watches?
That's called fraud.
No, you know what I got? I got a Pro Hunter Rolex.
Oh, one of those blacked out deals.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Right.
And you know what I picked up and I haven't worn and I probably never will. And if you know anybody who wants one, I'll sell it to them. Is the new 50th anniversary Sea Dweller.
Oh, why not?
That sounds
Why
really
don't you
good.
like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're hard to get and they're limited. It's the one with the red writing on it.
Yeah,
Really?
it's a
We
great
want
watch.
that.
The brand
Yeah.
new one?
Brand new, spanking in the box.
But why
Never
don't
even
you
worn
like it?
I'm never going to wear it. I
Why
know it.
not? You're wearing a platinum Daytona.
Well,
No,
there's
but I
a-
have all these other watches that I really enjoy. And
See,
I'm like, eh.
This is just like cars.
Right.
And he's right, by the way. The reason I got you out of your Sea Dweller was so I could get you into that Daytona. And don't you like this 40 millimeters better, the way it sits on your
I
wrist?
had a deep sea dweller, which was like wearing an
The deep
Oreo,
sea, yeah, it's
the
very
Oreo
huge.
double stuff on my
Yeah, yeah.
my wrist, and I do like it because there was and I've told you we can get into some other time that there was a professional reason for it.
What? Go ahead. Well, now
Oh,
you're into
well,
it. You
now-
just said it out loud. Everybody
Okay,
wants to know.
well,
What's
it's
the
like,
professional
I
reason?
wanna know.
The professional reason is that everybody wants to see their personal injury lawyer a certain way. You should be in a slick suit,
Right.
a Porsche, and a big fat Rolex, just like a cop should have a cop car
Right.
and a uniform on and a gun. You
They
have
want to know you're successful.
Right.
And
So-
that works.
And
that
that
gets
works.
that gets you business.
Yes.
Well, anyways, Russell, I imagine you're on Netflix now. Don't you have?
Yeah, I was the first straight to Netflix comedy deal. Did you know that?
I did not. I
I
hope
was
it was
the
one of those
first.
giant deals
No,
like
I
Chris
did not
Rock.
get the Jerry, Chris, or Dave deal.
Why not?
And I saw Ted
Now-
Sarandos a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And I was like, Ted, I go, my next deal, if I don't get even half of what Dave, Chris, or Jerry got,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Amazon.
Well, who has a bigger global appeal than you do?
That's what pissed me off the most. I'm like, they're like, your numbers didn't do that well here. Check the world. Trust me on this. Check the rest of the world where it counts.
Let's renegotiate.
By the way, don't
Yeah.
believe them when they say the
course
numbers were.
they're gonna
I've
tell you.
never, for as long as I've been in show business, I've heard network presidents tell me how none of the shows I work on are profitable. Simpsons is not profitable. Seinfeld is not profitable.
Yeah.
None of these shows are profitable. So,
Yeah.
folks, screw that. I'm telling you, $50 million per hour is what you
I'm
deserve.
with it,
Sarandos.
buddy. You won't see me arguing with you on that.
You're paying him $50 million. You also have a movie out this week,
Yeah,
which is
Ripped.
Ripped, and
starring myself and Face on Love.
all right, and that's in theaters
It's
worldwide.
a
Or
limited release right now. I think it's on iTunes next week or something. But whatever. I mean,
go see
either go
that.
see it or go buy it.
And when are you on tour again? When is that happening?
I'm in my writing process now, so I'm
You
hitting
are.
clubs every week, every night almost, and just working on bits. And then the actual tour starts in January.
and what kind? Just let me ask a question about that. Are you working off a pad? Do you
Nope.
memorize your jokes? Do you write them out, or
No, I talk to the audience.
you talk to
I
the
go
audience?
up with nothing, and I really just wing it the entire show.
Oh my God!
And then if something really works well, I go, okay, remember, do that again.
Right.
And that's exactly
So
how
you
I
keep-
stack my chips that way.
Keep it all in your head. You
Yeah.
don't write down which jokes. So then,
No.
how do you lay out a set when you're doing a set?
Because I know exactly what I'm going to end with now. So now I'm trying to build either the beginning or the middle. And then it'll just it's like, building something. You just starting in pieces and it'll
Incredible.
stack
yeah,
up
you make it
eventually.
sound so easy. And then
I mean, Jerry writes probably.
He
very
does.
diligent, very intelligent.
He does. Louis
I'm not that
is
guy.
like you. He'll just come out and just start talking to the audience.
Yeah, it's the best. For me, that's the best way to do it.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Otherwise, I can't tame my thoughts.
I get out to a microphone and then I panic. And it doesn't
You
matter
ever
if
did
things are
stand-up?
written down. I've done stand-up, yeah. But I'm too old to go through that right now.
I think you're only 3 years older than me, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. But I got a lot else going on than to get up on stage and humiliate myself.
That's the way to do it.
I know. Then that's the only way to do it.
Success.
You're right. But at 10 o'clock, I wanna get on Netflix. I wanna watch you, Russell Peters, do your comedy or Stranger Things or something fun. I want to stuff myself full of popcorn and have it all over my shirt.
Right.
And then I want to pass out on the floor. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be in a club.
Well, then you need to get divorced.
I'm on my way to doing that. By the way, I'll end with this. Today, my 16th wedding anniversary.
Hey, congratulations.
Oh, do you mean that?
I do. I mean,
you do?
I'm
It's
happy
great.
when it works.
It is. It's great. I'm very happy about it. I love you, Erica.
Paul, what are you on? How many marriages?
20 years, one.
Nice. See?
20 years one,
It
and
can
you?
work.
You're into your second.
My first one was 14 months, and the second one should be forever, I think. I
And
hope,
you,
know.
14 months is a long stretch.
I really,
county.
I really tried working it.
all right. The very funny Russell Peters. Russell, thanks for coming by, my friend.
Thanks, Spike and Paul.
We'd love to have you back.
And Dean.
That's all we have on Spike's Car Radio. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.